Hi everyone, and welcome to this beginner Smokey Eye tutorial. It's fairly simple to do but still quite effective. I've only used one eyeshadow, some eyeliner and mascara. I think it's quite pretty. As you can see here, I've already finished my base and brows. And I'm using the shade Light Brown from this Lorac Pro 2 palette with a smaller fluffy brush. You can use any brush to do this step, a flat shader brush for example. Just make sure you have a fluffy brush on hand for blending. So firstly, I'm just taking a small amount of shadow on the brush, tapping off the excess and start dabbing it onto the mobile lid. And then I slowly start dragging it up into the crease, continuously looking in the mirror to make sure you are placing the shadow in the right spot and to check that it's blending out okay. Then I just keep going back into the same shadow and slowly build up the colour. Take your time doing this, always just put a small amount on your brush and always tap off the excess. If you don't, that's when you start to make mistakes and you get a bit flustered trying to fix it, so just take your time. Then next I'm taking this larger fluffy blending brush to blend out the edges so there are no harsh lines. Then all you need to do is just keep repeating these steps until you are happy with the intensity of the colour and then it's all blended out. Then move on and do the exact same thing to the other eye. I really like using lighter brown shadows for smoky eyes as you can really build up the colour to where you want it to be. And especially when you're just starting out with smoky eyes, you'll have less a chance of making a mistake.
When I feel that heartbeat, I fly so much higher, fly.
Now you can see here that I've really built up the colour to an intensity that I like, and I'm just going back in with that fluffy brush to soften out any harsh lines again. Using the same eyeshadow and a smaller fluffy blending brush, I'm just buffing the shadow into the lower lash line to add some definition and to even out what we've got going on the eyelids. And again, just take a small amount and tap off the excess before applying it.
Take my hand, don't let go, skyward bound.
And again, just build up the colour to your liking and blend out with that fluffy brush again. And you can see we're starting to get that smoky effect now. Now this step is optional. You could leave the eyeshadow like this and just go straight onto your eyeliner and mascara, but I usually like to add a pop of highlight to the inner corners. And as this is a matte eyeshadow look, I wanted to keep the inner corners fairly matte too. I mixed two of the lighter colours in the palette. One was definitely matte and the other might have had a slight sheen to it, but it still gave a lovely effect, not too over the top. And just blending out once again to make sure there are no harsh lines. Now for eyeliner, I'll be using this Maybelline gel liner in Blackest Black with a tiny little eyeliner brush. Just take a small amount, enough to cover the little brush, and wipe off any excess on the back of your hand. Here I am tight lining, and all this is lining your upper and lower waterlines. It does take a little bit of practice, so take your time. This is optional. You don't have to do this, but I love the effect that it gives. It makes your lashes look thicker and longer. Now I just hold the brush on its side and jiggle it along the waterline instead of trying to apply it in one long swipe. I find this a lot easier. And do the same thing to the lower waterline. Don't worry if you make a mistake, as we're going to smudge it all out so it looks nice and smoky anyway. I added a little bit more product to the brush, and by using small strokes, I also added it to the upper lash line, as close to the lash line as possible. Now I've stopped my eyeliner just before I get to the highlighted area in the inner corner. Then I'm taking this little definer brush to smudge out the eyeliner to make it look nice and smoky. You can use wiggling and stroking motions to do this, just whatever works. Do the same thing to the lower lash line, adding a tiny bit more product to the brush and smudging it out. You can see here how I really work it into the lashes.
Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for
And with our smaller fluffy brush, we're just going to smudge all of that out and make sure it's all nice and blended.
we must never stop the way. Birds chirping
And do the same to the upper lash line.
grasping into life. Life is happy, but it's so insane. We must
Now that both of our eyes are done, we're going to move on to mascara. So firstly, we're going to curl our lashes.
I'm coming home, Savannah.
Now taking your favourite mascara, coat your lashes, upper and lower, to your liking.
Let's all take a ride. Savannah.
And just showing you what a difference mascara makes. And now that we're all done with the mascara, I just wanted to show you how handy these little combs are. It's really good if you've got any clumps or anything in your mascara. Just comb it through and it gets them all out. And that is the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed this video and that you learnt some new tips. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next week. Bye!